Welcome to the Richard Sherman Podcast. If you're new, hit that sub button. We're here to give you great NFL content. Stay tuned.
The Sherman Bowl, 2 points, whatever it has been, several times now in San Francisco. Seattle goes on the road and gets what is by Vegas standards an upset, big win in the division. They climb back. What are your thoughts? Because this game, not a whole lot of people thought this was going this way. San Francisco is finally healthy-ish, and they lose. Richard, your thoughts on this game?
Well, it was a chaotic week in Seattle. You know, their center, Connor Williams, retiring in the middle of the bye week. You know, they cut their leading tackler. So, you know, it seemed chaotic, but this defense responded in a big way, holding the San Francisco 49ers to 20 points in the game, really keeping Christian McCaffrey in check for a majority of this game, 19 carries for 79 yards, 4 catches for 27. I mean, felt like a solid game from him, you know, still almost 100 yards total offense, but just could not get in the end zone again. Just the way their season is going, when they need a touchdown, they get field goals. And that's the frustrating part for this offense, because they got a turnover. They got a sudden change opportunity where it looked like, hey, the momentum's going in San Francisco 49ers' favor. It looks like they were going to be able to make a big play, score a touchdown, kind of start to pull away in that moment. And the Seattle Seahawks got the stop, held them to a field goal. Then you look up, Nick Bosa gets hurt, and the Seattle Seahawks take full advantage of it, go down the field, score touchdowns. Both touchdowns were scored after Nick Bosa was down with an injury. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 10 catches for 110 yards. He continues his excellent play throughout these last few weeks he's been on. I mean, he's been playing really impressive football. Geno Smith, 25 of 32 for 221 yards, had the interception, but really, really played well when they needed it, used his legs when he had to have it, especially on the game-winning touchdown. And everybody, you know, even folks in Seattle, you know, haven't been as high on Geno this year, even though I think he's still playing really good football. He's just been beaten up. You know, he got sacked 4 times in this game. And with all that said, they're 5-5, win off the bye week against a very tough opponent. Got another divisional opponent coming up next week, and you kind of control your own destiny from this point. You know, with this win against the San Francisco 49ers, they have the tiebreakers against a lot of these teams, the Seattle Seahawks do, and the San Francisco 49ers are 1-3 within a division. So it's just a really rough season, you know, because if you're looking at tiebreakers and how tight this race is, when you get to 1-3 in a division, you're not going to have the tiebreaker over a lot of these teams. So hopefully you get the tie with the Rams and you get the tie with the Arizona Cardinals, but you just, you know, you're putting yourself in a tough position.
They're going to have an opportunity to separate themselves from the pack next week against the Arizona Cardinals, Richard. But this San Francisco 49ers team is clinging on for dear life. And while they're finally healthy, it's not the playmakers that you would expect. It's Juwan Jennings that they're leaning on for 10 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Like, what's going on with this offense? Because while they seem to be getting healthy, they're not leaning on Debo. They're not leaning on CMC. I know he's roughly back now, and they're going to lean on him more down the stretch, but the time is now for the San Francisco 49ers team. They've got to start winning now, and they're going to go on the road against the Packers, who have been playing impressive ball all season. I mean, when's it going to start? The pressure is building up on this team. They've got to win now, Richard.
Yeah, they got to figure it out, and they got to start executing. You know, 159 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception from Brock Purdy, 21-28. It's just not good enough in a game like this where you had to have more. Juwan Jennings played another excellent game. He was a standout in this game, made a ton of big plays, huge third down conversions every single time they needed it. A 3rd and 11 where it looked like he dragged half of the DBs in Seattle to the first down marker, and you need more of that. Got a touchdown on that drive, and you just need more consistent play, and it just doesn't seem like the plays are there as they have been in the past, and the red zone execution. I mean, it's been a storyline the entire season. They were the number one red zone offense last year. They cannot find a way. They're bottom of the pack this year in terms of getting the ball in the end zone, not just driving down into the red zone and kicking field goals. I mean, I guess they're best in the league at that right now. And but you can't have that if you want to be a championship football team, and that's the team that everybody expects. That the faithful expect it from them. I expected it from them. The amount of talent this team had, you expected them to go out and play better football and execute at a higher level than they have been. And I'm sure Kyle is going to change something up and switch something up to spice it up, because right now it just looks stagnant offensively, and the holes aren't there in the run game. You're not seeing the big yak in the pass game. You're not seeing the big time explosive plays that they're known for, and they've been known for throughout Kyle's tenure in San Francisco. But the Seattle Seahawks did a really good job in this game of just sticking around, hanging around, making plays when they were there. Devin Witherspoon tips the ball up to Jonathan Hankins for his first career interception. Huge play in the ball game. While the San Francisco 49ers were in their own territory still, and that ended up contributing to points for the Seattle Seahawks. And those are the things, tight window throws that Brock Purdy's trying to make and trying to force in there that helped lead to this defeat at the hands of the Seattle Seahawks. But this is a really, really positive game. Derek Hall and Draymond Jones continue their strong seasons, sack each. DK Metcalf made some big plays when they had to have them, had 7 catches for 70 yards. Your boy K9 had 14 carries, 54 yards, got in the end zone. And you just look at this team, and you're doing what you need to do to win. And that's really all you need to do in this league. You win ugly, you win pretty, but this is a good confidence booster. I thought their defense, the Seattle Seahawks defense, played really, really well in this game. They got the stops. They had tight coverage. Tariq Woolen was tight in coverage. Witherspoon was tight in coverage all day. Disruptive from the D-line, disruption. Byron Murphy. Ernest Jones looked really good, still kind of trying to find his way within this defense. But the young guy, Knight, they looked good in their first game since all the change. You expected them to come out and execute at a high level off the bye week, fresh legs, et cetera, et cetera. I'm excited to see what they do next week against the Arizona Cardinals, who have been red hot, playing really good football. Kyler Murray, that defense, Buda Baker, and those boys have been playing really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing if the Seattle Seahawks can really come back into Lumen Field and protect home field and come out with another win, because if they can, then it really starts to heat up the playoff conversation.